I've always been an insomniac. It's been that way since I was a teenager. Long nights spent scrolling through the darkest corners of the internet, looking for something, anything, to distract my restless mind. I guess that's how I found the dark web in the first place. It became my escape. Somewhere I could explore the things most people never dared to touch. A place for people like me, who needed more than just the everyday distractions of social media or Netflix. Most of the time it was harmless. I'd lurk in forums, read conspiracy theories, or watch weird videos that you wouldn't find anywhere else. But one night, I stumbled across something that made me realize just how wrong I'd been about the dark web. There were things out there I wasn't prepared for. It started innocently enough. I was scrolling through a dark web marketplace, the kind of place that sold illegal software, hacked credit card numbers, even black market medical supplies. Nothing that shocked me anymore. But then I saw a new section I hadn't noticed before, tucked away near the bottom of the page, labeled Curiosities. I clicked it. It was a list of items for sale, but they were strange. Not your typical drugs or fake IDs. These were personal. Old diaries, someone's childhood artwork, VHS tapes with no labels. At first, I thought it was some sort of niche collector's market for odd things people found in thrift stores. But the further I scrolled, the weirder it got. There were items with descriptions like, "The last recorded memories of a stranger," or "A fragment of time, captured forever." One listing was for something called the Forgotten Box, described as a collection of memories no one should own. I couldn't help myself. I was intrigued. I clicked on the listing. The seller's page was minimal. No profile picture, no information about who they were, just a price and a shipping option. The item itself was cheap, practically free, which was odd considering the mystery it promised. Against my better judgment, I bought it. I figured worst-case scenario, I was about to receive some broken toy or piece of junk. Best case, I'd have a weird story to tell. A few days later, a small unmarked package arrived at my door. There was no return address, no identifying labels. Just a plain black box inside, no bigger than a shoebox. It felt heavier than I expected, and when I opened it, there was only one thing inside: an old beat-up camcorder and a single cassette tape. I stared at it for a while, unsure of what I was supposed to do with it. But my curiosity got the better of me. I dug out my old VCR, hooked it up to the TV, and popped the tape in. The screen flickered to life, showing grainy, handheld footage of someone's bedroom. It looked like it was filmed years ago. The furniture was old, the decor outdated. The camera wobbled as if whoever was holding it was trying to stay hidden. They were filming through a crack in the door, watching someone lying in bed. At first, I thought it was some kind of creepy voyeur tape, maybe filmed without the person's knowledge. But then I noticed something that made my skin crawl. The person in the bed was me. I was frozen, staring at the screen, unable to comprehend what I was seeing. The room was identical to mine. The same bed, the same posters on the wall, the same pile of clothes on the floor. And the figure in the bed? It was me, sleeping. My mind was racing. This couldn't be possible. The footage had to be old, decades old, based on the quality. But there I was, just as I looked now, lying there, completely unaware that someone had been filming me. I rewound the tape hoping I had seen it wrong, that maybe it was just some bizarre coincidence. But no, every detail was exactly the same. It was me. I yanked the tape out of the VCR, my heart pounding. My first instinct was to check my apartment. I tore through every inch of the place looking for hidden cameras, signs that someone had been there. But there was nothing. No cameras, no signs of forced entry, nothing to suggest anyone had been in my apartment, let alone filming me while I slept. I tried to calm down, telling myself it had to be a trick, some kind of elaborate prank. But deep down, I knew that wasn't the case. I couldn't stop thinking about the listing on the dark web. A collection of memories no one should own. What the hell had I bought? And who was the seller? The next day, I went back to the dark web marketplace to check the seller's profile, but it was gone. The entire listing had vanished, as if it had never existed. I tried searching for it, looking through the forums for any mention of it, but there was nothing. No trace of the box, the seller, or anyone who had experienced something similar. For days, I was paranoid. I barely slept, convinced that someone was watching me, that whoever had filmed that tape was still out there. I started locking all my doors, covering my windows, even checking under my bed like a scared child. But it didn't help. The feeling that I was being watched never went away. A week later, I woke up to find another package on my doorstep. No note, no return address. Just a plain black box. Inside was another tape. This time, I didn't even bother hooking up the VCR. I smashed the tape to pieces, throwing it in the trash, hoping that would end it. But deep down, I knew it wouldn't. The next morning, there was another box, another tape. It didn't matter what I did. Every time I destroyed one, another would show up the next day. It was relentless. Whoever the collector was, they had me now. There was no escaping it. I stopped sleeping altogether, too afraid of what I might see on the tapes. Because the worst part? Each new tape wasn't just someone filming me. No, each one showed something darker, more terrifying. The me in the tapes started to act differently. I would be awake, moving in ways I didn't remember, staring into the camera, smiling in a way I never had. It was like watching a version of myself that I didn't recognize. That wasn't me at all. And now? Now I don't know if I'm the one being filmed, or if I'm the one holding the camera,